Nigeria plunged into darkness again as national grid collapses. On Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, Nigeria faced yet another major power grid failure, triggering widespread blackouts across the country. At approximately 11:23 a.m., the Nigeria national grid collapsed, causing a sharp drop in electricity output, plummeting from around 2,917.83 megawatts (MW) to a mere 1.5 megawatts within the span of an hour. Distribution companies sound the alarm. Two major distribution companies swiftly acknowledged the disruption. Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, posted on X that the blackout stemmed from a loss of supply from the national grid at 11:23 a.m. today, affecting its entire franchise area. Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, PHED, announced via its X account that there was no supply across its four operating states, Rivers, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River. Both companies urged customers for patience, assuring that restoration efforts were underway once the grid stabilized. Restoration efforts underway. Authorities, including the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, began working to restore the grid. TCN confirmed that system restoration is in progress and emphasized ongoing efforts to stabilize supply. Reports indicate that some parts of the country, such as Dawaki, Zone 7 DUTS, began seeing restored power around 3 p.m. A recurring crisis in 2025. This collapse is one in a string of grid failures this year. In February 2025, parts of the country already experienced blackouts attributed to grid collapse. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, however, has publicly denied some claims of multiple collapses this year, particularly those suggesting two system failures in 2025. Meanwhile, a July statement from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, asserted there was no collapse in the first quarter of 2025. In contrast, 2024 saw 11 separate grid collapses, underscoring the chronic instability of the national electricity system. Underlying causes: a deepening structural challenge. Nigeria's power grid is beset by long-standing and deep structural issues. Aging infrastructure and widespread vandalism make the system vulnerable to frequent breakdowns. The country generates only a fraction of its installed capacity, unable to fully harness its vast gas, oil, and hydro resources. The resulting economic toll is significant. Unreliable electricity disrupts businesses, manufacturing, and public services, contributing to an estimated $29 billion in annual losses. Implementation gaps, such as poor maintenance and underinvestment, only worsen the situation. Toward a solution: decentralization and resilience. Building a resilient power system requires comprehensive reform. Decentralized solutions, including mini-solar grids, are being explored with support from institutions like the World Bank, particularly to enhance rural access and relieve pressure on the national grid. With the Electricity Act of 2023, states are now permitted to generate and transmit electricity independently, a move intended to diversify supply channels. TCN's managing director has also proposed creating a super grid buffer system that would allow alternate transmission routes in case of line failure, a system designed to reduce the likelihood of full collapse. What this means for Nigerians: frequent and unpredictable electricity outages have become a norm, with households and businesses increasingly forced to rely on costly generators. Rising fuel prices make these alternatives less affordable, compounding the burden on consumers. This massive disruption in September 2025 underscores the urgent need for infrastructure renewal, diversified power sources, and dynamic transmission strategies to ensure that blackouts become a thing of the past.